We estimate that about 3.4 million people get flooded every year. It has a cost of 11 billion. I should just say all of these numbers are US dollars. We also have a cost of about $13 billion of dike cost, and that means the total cost of global flooding is 0.05% of GDP. That's a problem. Remember, that means it's also a very small part of the global economy. What will happen in a world where we have worst case warming, the highest population, and the highest GDP growth? In that worst case world of warming, if we don't do anything, what will happen? Well, not surprisingly, as temperatures rise and as sea level rise, we're going to see more and more people being drowned almost, right? We'll have 187 million people flooded. This number was brandished in Washington Post and Wall Street Journal and pretty much all papers around the world as, oh my God, 187 million people are going to die. Of course, they're not actually going to die. They'll need to move. But still, you'll be very, very silly to be standing there for 80 years and watch the waves lap up over your feet and say, ooh, if I don't move in 80 years, I'm going to drown. But if we have this no adaptation, 187 million people are going to get flooded. This will cost us $55 trillion every year. That's a huge cost. We'll be paying $24 billion in dike cost. That means the total cost, because we'll be much richer by 2100, is 5.3% of GDP. That's a huge cost. But what is the one thing that's really, really unrealistic? It is that ever more rich countries decide to say, so, sea levels are rising. Yeah, but we're not going to change our dikes. We're not going to do anything about that. No, no, no. I know it's all flooded, and I know you all hate it, but there you are. We're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to adapt. Of course we're going to adapt. I mean, Holland did this 100 years ago, right? We know how to adapt to sea level rise. We know how to do that almost everywhere. If we assume that all nations are instead going to do what is economically efficient adaptation, here's what's happening. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see it. But basically, we're going to get to almost nothing. So as much richer countries by 2100 are going to see sea levels, we will have 15,000 people being flooded every year, not 187 million people. I'll give you one guess as to which one of these made the headlines. It was the 187, and this happens all the time. This is a model that has been replicated many, many times. It always gives the 187 million, and it's been brandished at least since 2011. You always hear the 187 million. You never hear that the realistic outcome is 15,000. Now, there will be higher costs, absolutely, mostly because we actually have a lot more stuff to get damaged. There will be much higher dike costs because we actually have to keep increasing. We have to repair them much more. But notice the total cost of GDP will go down, not up. We today spend 0.05% of our GDP. In 2100, with worst case warming, we're actually going to be spending less, not more. How's that possible? It is because when you're richer, you're much better able to deal with problems.